I am going to call the special meeting of the Darien Police Commission. We are 2,390th.
This conference will now be recorded.
Should I start again?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to start again because I want to make sure we have full recording of the 2,390th meeting of the Darien Police Commission. Just for the record, we have Commissioner Cunningham on the phone. We have both captains and sergeant recording, and we are here at the town hall. So I will, first order of business, acceptance of the minutes of May 6th. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome. Okay. Correspondence, which we seem to have a lot of. So, Chief, is that you?
In the COVID-19 time, we get a lot of
And we get
correspondence.
pictures too.
I got a very nice thank you note from a Darien youngster, including Channel 79 can see it, but a nice drawing of a black and white police car, actually almost to scale. So much appreciated from a third grader who was thanking the police department for all that we do. Much appreciated. I got another thank you note to the whole Darien Police Department, thanking us for all that we do, and I think these folks sent along a meal as well. Received a nice email from a young man who's Fairfield Prep, class of 2021, just thanking all first responders, but especially the police department for what we're doing in this chaotic time with the pandemic. Just I wanted to thank each of you for your service, risking your life, and risking your life even more with this deadly virus. Thank you for going out and doing your job while most of us are safe in our homes. Again, very nice. We received a thank you note and a very generous donation from the Middlesex Common Condominium Association, thanking us for our hard work and dedication during this time and to the entire Darien community. It says, words cannot adequately express our appreciation for your efforts and selflessness during this most difficult and challenging health crisis. You are the true heroes who risk your own safety and wellness for those most in need. So thank you to the Middlesex Common Condominium Association. I also got a nice letter from Rhea Bott, who is the secretary of the Darien chapter of Students Against Destructive Decisions. As the commission knows, our officers are involved in that group through the depot. Very nice note from her, again thanking the entire Darien Police Department for our service during this time. While we are staying at home, protected, all of you are working to ensure our safety. We wanted to express our appreciation for everything that you're doing. You are the true heroes in our eyes. So this is the kind of stuff that separates the wheat from the chaff, and this is what we're doing in these times. We're still out there protecting the public, and I am very grateful for the public acknowledging the work of our officers that are out there 24/7. I also got one voicemail that I think that we should talk about as well, from a lady who used to live here in Darien, and she called specifically. She wanted to express her gratitude and admiration for the police department for the arrest that was made by Mike Cummings of the couple that had the gun in the car and the big load of narcotics. That was excellent work by the Midnight Crew and Officer Cummings in general, and specifically for Officer Cummings. She took the time, she lives in Stanford now, but to call us. She's lived in Darien for a lot of years, and she was very appreciative of the work that was done by that officer. So, duly noted here. Department activity, I'm going to hand that over remotely to Captain Marin.
Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
All right, we're good. On May 8th, 52-year-old northbound New York woman was arrested for criminal violation of restraining order. On May 13th, a 40-year-old Stratford man was arrested for DWI. May 18th, a 21-year-old Bridgeport man and a 22-year-old Stanford woman were arrested for numerous narcotics and weapons charges after a car they owned was pulled over. On May 20th, a 26-year-old Mohawk woman was arrested by warrant for possession of a controlled substance. On May 24th, a 53-year-old male and 49-year-old female from Darien were arrested for their roles in domestic violence incident. Since May 7th, patrol officers have logged 577 criminal prevention activity entries, indicating they carry out functions such as patrolling parks, beach areas, and school grounds, and other accidents, 3 of which involved minor injuries. 2 of those crashes also involved bicyclists, and one of those was a minor injury. And that is all I have.
One other thing under activity, and most people probably saw the news report out of New Canaan PD with the incident yesterday where the jogger was hit by the car, and that was a very heinous and chilling crime. As a result of that, we had another victim come forward here in Darien who believes she was struck by that same car back in April. Our detective division is investigating. We're working with both New Canaan PD and the state's attorney's office closely to conduct that investigation. And all evidence at this point does suggest that it probably is the same subject and the same vehicle. So we are actively working on that as well. So even in these times, there's still criminal activity afoot.
Yeah, and it looks like we have the motor vehicle accidents. People are clearly driving more than they were a month ago, and we still have lots of walkers and bikers.
Yes.
So we have not had this many, motor vehicles and bicyclists in a while.
Yeah.
Tangling. So people need to be
Clearly, day by
really careful.
day, the traffic, you can see it day by day. The fact that, for my house now, I got used to be able to get here in 20 minutes, but that's over again now on weekdays. It's not back to, pre-time, but it's getting to the point where everybody's heading back to work, I think.
So slow, careful.
Please.
Right. Old business.
COVID-19
COVID-19.
is still the name of the game. We are bringing back our staff, our civilian staff, on Monday. We have devised a plan to kind of space the folks out within the building to try to maintain distance, but to have our essential work still completed. I think that will work out fine. I know our civilian employees are anxious to get back to some semblance of a regular workday. Starting on Monday, we are going to once again implement our civilian fingerprinting, non-criminal fingerprinting for employment or pistol permit applications, so that is coming back on board on Monday. I believe on Monday as well that we're going to lift the prohibition on the prescription drug drop box in our lobby to allow folks to come into the lobby specifically just to drop off their prescriptions.
Does that drop box get used fairly regularly?
It's I don't know, Mike DeSantos would probably be able to tell you best, but it's probably 20, 30 pounds at least a month.
Wow. That's
Oh yeah,
great.
we have to empty it more than once a week.
Oh my,
Yeah, so it's used continually and perpetually, yeah.
that's great.
And we have kind of an agreement with other area towns, because when that gets taken out of there, of course, it all has to be logged by weight. We don't go through each individual prescription, what's in
Right.
there, but it's logged by weight. And it's a very strict protocol for disposal. So we take turns with the other area departments actually going to the Wheelabrator incinerator in Bridgeport. And the officer, 2 officers go, and they have to cross-check each other that you actually go in the incinerator. You don't drop it off outside. You got to go in with a hard hat and a suit, and you physically, personally put that stuff into the big hopper where it can't be retrieved before it's destroyed. So there is a very strict process for disposal.
I had no idea. That's really kind of
Oh yeah.
remarkable, actually.
Oh, it's since the beginning. It's been very, very steady. Not a day goes by that more than one person comes in to deposit. I think you tell people that may be watching on TV. The only really prohibition is no liquids. You can't put liquid medication in there, even if it's a sealed container. It's only for pills or.
Right,
You can't have powders breaking open inside the thing. So.
right, sure.
So plastic containers of that. So we're going to bring that on board. Other things like tag sales and going in people's cars for car seat installations, we're not quite ready there to bring that back on board, but we'll bring it back as quick as we can. We're just not quite there yet. Brain division, like the captain said, the brain division is out. We're going to be probably extending some of our time on weekends past an 8-hour day. I think it's a prudent and a wise expenditure of overtime funds, because I think we're gonna have a heavy boating season.
Yeah.
I think the folks expect to see us out there, and we are gonna deliver the service that we need to deliver out there. We would ask the boating public, of course, to obey all the boating regulations, have all your safety equipment, avoid rafting up where the social distance can't be maintained, enjoy the water, but try to keep it safe out there for everybody. So we will be out there. You see our Marine Division guys out there. They started on Memorial Day, and we'll be out there on a regular basis.
Well, this weekend wasn't the nicest weather, but people seem to be out.
Not a whole other lot of options. Boating, is,
I know.
you can see boating is a nice option to have when you don't have a lot of other options. So we understand that, and we just want everybody to be safe out there.
And I think the restaurants had opened for outdoor dining. I know that's not really our purview, but anything, that,
That all comes under
impact us, or-
the health department.
but we didn't have any.
We didn't have any issues.
Specific incidents or.
I dined al fresco at an establishment here in Darien and had a very nice meal on the opening night. And I think that's a good thing for the town. I think it's a good thing for the business owners. I don't foresee.
But we
there
have
being
now
any-
more town activity than we have had for the last 8 weeks or however.
People are
much
definitely
so.
ready to get out to have a meal, that's for sure. So
Yes.
Okay.
no issues thus far, and I don't foresee there being any issues as far as dining outside.
Activity.
Yeah.
And the bars aren't really open yet, so.
As far as our staff goes, we have gone through this pandemic thus far with not a single staff member testing positive for COVID-19. We did have one employee's family members test positive, but this employee again has tested, I believe, negative, and she will be coming back to work next week. So we've been very fortunate from that regard, that we have been COVID-19 free. I think a lot of that was because we took early precautions, and I got to tell you that our maintenance staff, as you folks know, keep that building pretty spotless.
Spotless.
It's still a new building after this length of time, and they take great pride in keeping it clean and keeping it safe. So we've been very fortunate from that regard as well. So we are continuing in our COVID-19 response. Our call volume really has not really spiked. Now that the warmer weather is here, the call volume probably will return. Well, our accident rate will probably go back up with all the cars back on the road again. We did have a couple collisions, as mentioned, one with a bike and one with a skateboard. When there's people out and about on the road, again, would ask that folks would pay extra attention for pedestrians, small children, bicyclists, skateboarders, unicyclists, anybody
Haven't seen many
that's
of
out
them
there.
lately.
I have not seen a unicyclist. I've seen almost everything else. That,
So other than that, we're doing pretty well, COVID-19 related. Commissioners have any questions of maybe things that I'm forgetting? But we're maintaining the status quo pretty much. Safety is still pretty good. We haven't had any really major incidents that COVID-19 related that were safety related. So
well, so the next June 20th, or we'll have to, I don't know what that means for us, but that's the next hurdle
Quote unquote phase 2.
in our next phase.
Or perhaps the
Maybe
powers
we'll-
that be in Hartford might get a little more optimistic and move it up.
Let's hope it is before June 20th, but that is definitely not the purview of the Darien Police Commission.
right.
Okay, new business, back to traffic. We haven't had, Bob, I don't know, where you been? This is exciting almost.
Okay, here we go. So,
Everybody sit on the edge of your seat.
We have what you gave us here.
Yep, so in the packet, a sightline issue was brought to the attention of Public Works. So last week I met with Ed Gentile at the intersection of Park Lane and West Avenue. So if you're driving south on Park Lane, which is a private road, and you're attempting to pull out onto West Avenue, to take a left to go into the town, on the corner there, when cars are parked, it's hard to see traffic entering into Darien.
It most
I
certainly
drove
is.
it myself, and so did Ed, and when the cars are parked there up to the corner, it creates a big sightline issue. So the plan is to eliminate those 2 parking spaces to mark it as no parking from the end of that fencing to the corner. So we place a stop sign, a no parking sign at the end of the fencing there, and do hash marks in the street indicating no parking.
Yep.
And then the fog line would be removed between Park Lane and West Avenue. And then there is a little stop sign there, and we would just add another stop bar underneath the stop sign. So if you remove those 2 cars that are parked there, you can see a lot better the cars entering into Darien, and you can make that left turn a lot safer.
Yep.
Bob, is that a regulation stop sign that's there?
No, it's you can't, it's hard to tell with the picture. It brought to my attention that it is a stop sign, but I believe it was placed by the residents there.
Okay, so as part and parcel of this, if the commission approves this no parking and the addition of the stop bar, I would also recommend that we put a regulation stop sign there to have the force of law. Even though it's a private road, it does intersect with the public road, which gives us the ability to put a proper stop sign there.
Yeah,
along
because
with
if
the
it's
stop
this
bar.
little thing, that's
I don't see any stop sign there. But
probably on the other
they tell
side
me
of that
there's one
white
there.
thing.
He assures me that it's there.
And maybe on the back side of that little white sign or on that telephone pole. Well, in any case, I agree. If there's no reason we shouldn't put a regulation stop sign.
Captain, it's Tom. I'm just curious as to who you think is actually parking in those spaces all the time. Are there businesses nearby, or are those residents just using the street for
It's
parking?
mostly residential. There's the apartment complex at Park and West, and then there's a couple of condo complexes in Stamford just over the line. And I think with everyone staying home, due to COVID, there's extra cars parked out there.
No, that makes sense.
So I think it has to do with that. But with those 2 cars, they could actually be parked across the street.
Yeah, it looks like there's
There's
plenty
still
of
room to
parking.
park over there. It's just kind of eliminating that little sightline issue. But I think as people start going back to work, I think you're going to see less and less cars parked over there.
No, it makes total sense, and the photos illustrate it perfectly, and I've pulled out of there many times, so.
Effectively,
I'm
what we're
good.
doing under statute there, under statute, you can't park within 30 feet of that corner and that stop sign anyway.
Yeah.
So you're taking an additional 30 feet. You're
feet.
basically taking one
Effectively
parking
one
space,
car
one
spot.
legal parking space perhaps away is all you're taking.
Got it.
Um,
Do we need a motion, Ms.
think-
Chairwoman?
I think we do.
So moved that we install a no parking zone at the corner of Park Lane and West Avenue.
Kevin second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Anything else? Captains, chief, anybody? Commissioners?
That's it for me.
Well, that, I don't have anything else, and it is a special meeting, so we cannot add anything to the agenda. Let me say, hopefully our next meeting, we will be back in our regular digs.
I'm ready for a regular meeting. I don't know about you. I'm definitely ready
Well,
for
let's look and
post-pandemic
see
meetings.
when that, Tom, do you have down when our next regular meeting?
I do. The next regular meeting is scheduled for June 3rd, which is, of course, just around the corner.
Yeah, so 2 weeks from
The one
that.
after that, of course, would be June 17th.
Does that work, Kevin?
Indeed.
June 17th, chief?
Works for me.
Good by
Okay.
me, yeah.
All right, June 17th, 4 o'clock. I will say location TBD, but I'm very much hoping we will be back at headquarters.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, we're out.